Good morning, fellow traders. It is Wednesday, May the 7th, and it is time to do our daily trade plan. I'm running a little bit later than I like. I usually like to have this video started by 7:30, excuse me. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. I can speak clearly. But yeah, let's just dive right in. Running a little bit late, like I said. So anyway, getting started here on the NASDAQ. So last night at market open in the aftermarket session, we had this major move up on the NASDAQ, on ES, on the Dow, and we had a big sell off on gold, that's kind of typical. If you see NASDAQ, ES, the Dow Jones are ripping, sometimes you see gold falling. So anyway, or see gold dumping. So that's kind of an interesting observation. But we kind of, in a sense, we've kind of created a little bit of a bull flag. So I'm not sure, should we really be looking? I'm looking for longs if they set up. I'm also looking for potential fades off this high area around the 20,190s. We've had a lower high here, and it's overnight. I mean, this is still an overnight move, but we're kind of on a downtrend here. So again, this could be, you could almost take a look at this and say, well, this is one big bull flag. So I think for me, you notice I put this little light colored area in here. This is what I'm going to call my no trade area. I'm not planning to take any trades within this area. That was my undoing yesterday. If you watched my recap, I didn't think I did a good job of kind of walking through yesterday's trades. I was probably more frustrated than I even showed, but I didn't do a good job, I think. And that was the big thing for me yesterday, is I took some trades in areas where I probably shouldn't have. And so I just set this on my charts today. So if I go to the 5-minute or the 2-minute chart, I was actually trading an eval this morning, so that's why you see some trades here, but I have this area. So if we're in this area, I'm planning to not trade that area at all. The areas I'm looking to trade today, obviously, I think my number one setup would be a break and retest long above yesterday's highs. If we can get above yesterday's highs and hold that, that would set up a really nice long trade. Also be looking at fades up in here, and then obviously you can see if we get break and retests above some of these levels, I'd be looking to take longs to the upside. To the downside, I'm not looking to get into anything until we test yesterday's lows around the 750s or this big flip area, if you will, around the 700s. If we get down to this area, test that could set up a beautiful long. It could also, if this fails, this could really set up a beautiful break and retest short. The only concern is this bright blue line here is the daily 50. So you would be shorting into the daily 50, so I think some level of caution would need to be exercised to take that trade. If we fall below the daily 50, you could almost duplicate this and put an arrow, a short setup down below. So once we get to ES, you'll see this a little bit more clarity. I think this will probably hold. I really don't see this happening, but again, the market is good at proving us wrong. So in any case, but that's the trade plan. I really want to stick to this. Longs off of the 700s, longs off yesterday's lows, longs off yesterday's highs, shorts off the 20,190s, longs off the 190s, or longs off the 20,300s. Those are the trades on the NASDAQ I'll be looking for, and I need to stay out of anything that is not that. This is stuff I'm setting up with a clear head, a clear brain here this morning. And so if we get a really nice setup intraday, the problem with this range is we're trading right into this noise, if you will, this just kind of congestion. And so taking a long from here, you're longing right into some heavy stuff. If you short this, you're shorting right into this support down here below. So I just want to be careful. I want to wait until we get better setups and not have another big red day, because yesterday was pretty rough. All right, moving on to ES. ES, I think, is probably the most clear, and one of the things I really like, you can obviously see my no trade area, but also we have the daily 50, yesterday's lows, and the overnight lows all coming together around the 5600s, well, 5610s, 5608s. This could set up an excellent long. It could also set up an excellent short. So I marked the short here around the 55.95s. I would potentially take that short already up in here as we get below these 56.08s, 56.07s, if we get good confirmation across NQ and ES for a short setup. So, but this is the number one trade I'd be looking for, is a long, a hold and a long off of this area. Again, not really looking to trade into the middle, not looking to trade into this stuff right here in the middle. If we get above, I really want to be beyond yesterday's highs, even above this, the 56.80s is where I want to be looking for longs on if we get a move to the upside. Not looking to take anything at the highs because we have this major level here at the 56.80s, I believe, and I want to wait until we get above the 56.80s to set up a long. I would also look to potentially fade the 57.05s. If we get to that area, this is a bit of resistance here. Well, support turn to resistance, that could be a good fade spot. So that's a spot I'll be looking as well. So the number 1, 2, and 3 trades here are long off the 50, the daily 50, a long off 56.80, and then possibly a fade of 57.05. Again, maybe the other setup here would be looking for shorts, maybe off the daily 50 or off this major flip area at the 55.97s. That is this major. If we lose this, this is really, you're really setting up some nice shorts. I mean, we have had resistance, we broke through it, and we have not fallen below that level, since we broke back in the first part of May here. So that's a pretty big area. That is also the same thing as on NQ. So again, if we fall below, the thing that's cautious on NQ, like I talked about, is we do have the daily 50 sitting below here, but if we fall below this 750, 19,685 area, definitely could be looking for shorts, and that could really set up, and you could have a pretty big short down into some of these levels. So anyway, excuse me. All right. So that's a yes. But yeah, that's the trade plan. And again, I want to stay out of this noise. If we trade within this all day and I don't get any trades, so be it. I don't think we will, because we have FOMC today, and I do believe that this market is going to make some moves. We might not get much until after FOMC, but then again, we might get a setup here in the morning, and if we do, we'll take it, and if not, we will just sit on our hands all day. Moving on to gold. Gold definitely had a big move yesterday. I missed that. Would have had a really nice long right here off the 33.80s. I did not take that trade, but now you can see yesterday's lows were right around that area where I've had this level marked. And so the thing I'd be looking for on gold today is if we get and I'll put the arrows over here so we can clearly see them, but if we get a break and retest here off of yesterday's lows, I would look to take that long back up into this area up here. I would also potentially, this is a cautious long. I would be cautious about it, but I would potentially take a long if we get above yesterday's high, which lines up with some of this area right in here back in the middle of April. So if we don't get this, but we get this, I may take that. That's kind of both of these areas is areas I'd be looking at if we get really good confirmation. I would also potentially be looking to fade these areas as well. If we don't get continuation, we would potentially be looking at maybe fading that. So the number one trade really is going to need to happen this morning. If we get a hold above yesterday's low and to set up a long, that would be the trade I'd be looking for. To the downside, if we fall down below, I'm not really looking to short into this area. I could almost set this as a no trade area, but I'm not looking to do anything until we get down to these lows. If we do, off of this support and really this support as well, if we get that, possibly take a long. And if we get all the way down here, I'm not really looking to short unless we get a little fader here, or we would have to have a major drop. I don't see that happening right now. The trades really are going to happen probably right in here today. So that's the game plan on gold. Again, just being optimistic and being cautious. I'm not being very aggressive in taking trades on gold. If it sets up, great. If it doesn't, that's completely fine as well. On the Dow, the Dow's an interesting one. So we are still holding this big level from the big market push day. Big level. We are really just chopping in this area. I am looking potentially to take a long off of this level. If it sets up, it would have to set up in the morning here the way it looks. I mean, it's about 10 till 8 here, quarter till 8. So, I mean, we're still a couple hours away from market open, but there's 3 longs I'd be looking at on the Dow. One would be this big level around the 41,125s, which we've had for, for quite some time. Another one would be yesterday's high. If we can break yesterday's high and hold it cleanly, I'm looking for longs, and also looking for a potential long off the daily 50. Again, this is the area that's kind of caught me. It has me a little bit concerned. The daily 50 is this bright blue line. This is the daily 50 on the Dow Jones, which is above price. And if you look at NQ and also ES the last few days, it has been below price. So that has me a little bit concerned. And I think, the thing I'm looking for on longs is we need to see buying be very prominent on NQ and ES for me to take these longs, because you're longing into that daily 50. However, it's just important that I have it on my charts and I know where it's at. And I would potentially take a long off of it if we get a break and retest above it and everything else is on the other markets is looking strong. I would also potentially fade the 50 today if that sets up. Again, we've kind of double topped here almost around the 41 500s, 550s. So that is a potential for a fade if that sets up. I didn't really mark a no trade area, but a no trade area really almost is from this high area down to the lows from yesterday. Not really looking to get into that. If we fall below the overnight lows, actually yesterday's lows, and then this is the overnight lows, that is a great opportunity here. You have support turned into, or resistance turned into support, and if we flip that, that could set up an excellent short. So we'll definitely be looking at that if that sets up. So that's the game plan for today. I think, again, the most clear is ES for me. I'll be looking at longs off ES, potential longs off the 5680s. And then the other trade I'm really looking at possibly taking is a long off yesterday's highs on the NASDAQ. So those are kind of the ones that I'm really looking at. And I really want to be very careful that I only take trades that I have actually set up here today. And I'm just going to be very cautious. Yesterday's red day was pretty bad, and I want to make sure that if I take anything today or whatever I take, that I do that with a very solid and consistent game plan. So we'll leave you with that. Have a great day. Hopefully you have a good green day. Keep your head on straight. Be careful with FOMC today, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, and so long.